protecting privacy, enabling discovery, FinnGen's cloud-based approach to genomics research. I have here with me Mr. Timo Sipilä from FIM, the product owner of FinnGen's Sandbox that we will be discussing today. Scientist on a mission to enable science is how you describe yourself.
Thank you for the nice introduction. I'm happy to be here to tell you about FinnGen, FIM, and our research environment Sandbox.
Okay, so what is FIM?
FIM is a research environment in University of Helsinki. It's a research institute where we do genomic research on molecular level on medicine and Finnish population studies also as well.
So Finnish Institute for Molecular Medicine. That's
exactly,
a mouthful.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a lot of things. But
okay, so what is FinnGen then?
FinnGen is a research project in FIM. It's a biobank study. Aim is to study and collect 500,000 Finnish individuals and collect the register data of those individuals and put them together and do medicinal studies on those, on medicinal studies on those.
So we have a couple of numbers here on the screen. So you're already over the 500,000 target.
Yes, actually the FinnGen has been ongoing for last 6 years, and for that was the collection phase. We collected this 500,000 individuals. Every half a year we delivered 50,000 individuals more, and 6 years makes 500,000. And we were actually a bit in head of our schedule, so we need to do 520 as such. We also collect Finnish register data and harmonize it from Finnish registries. And from those registers, we build our disease endpoints, which are called phenotypes, meaning asthma, diabetes, and other cancer related and everything, like 5,000 of different phenotypes for these 500,000 individuals. Okay,
so what makes then the Finland so special that FinnGen is possible here?
So Finnish genetics is kind of special because of the founder effect and the bottleneck effect. So there was like very small amount of people that came here way back ago that we are all descent of those. So these people bring out their own genomic variants and positions to here and kind of they enriched in this population. So we have our own good variants, which means genomic loci, and bad variants for disease. And this is like this makes it much more easier to find these kind of positions in the genome, contributing to the science, contributing to the disease susceptibility as such.
So looking at the phenotypes, trying to identify the genes in the genome that is culprit for that disease, for example.
And of course, the register data in FinnGen is also in Finland is also very, very kind of unique. We have a long-lasting kind of history of collecting these registers, and we can also apply them from single authority called FinData. And this is possible in FinnGen and Finland as well.
So health records
are taken, and they are logically organized in registers that can then applied for biobank studies like FinnGen, and then these register data can be then kind of crunched into phenotypes of disease for certain participant of the study.
Okay, so and you do this research in a FinnGen Sandbox.
Yes.
So usually when we're talking about doing research of this magnitude with people's health records, people's genome data, people say that you can only do that in an on-premises environment. So you absolutely cannot do it in a cloud, but you're doing it in a cloud. So tell us a little bit about the FinnGen Sandbox.
FinnGen Sandbox is our partner researchers analysis environment. FinnGen is a large project. We have a lot of partners from international pharma, from medical faculties in all universities of Finland, and biobanks. So all of those are our partners, and their researchers will access FinnGen data, and they access it from the sandbox as such.
And the cloud provides security and also high capacity computing.
And of course they don't all are in FIM, they are accessing it worldwide, and cloud makes it possible to access safely from their own homes and offices the kind of analysis environment. So that's and that is the sandbox in a way.
So why then Google Cloud Platform?
Well, in 2017, when FinnGen was started, the Google Cloud Platform was kind of very kind of flexible with and they have a lot of services for cloud sciences, like science APIs. And then we had a FinnGen partner, Cromwell, which was one of the research institute in Boston.
Broad Institute.
Yes, Broad Institute. Yes, they have developed the Cromwell, exactly. Yes, they have created Cromwell tool for analyzing and making workflows for such data. So that was one of the important kind of choosing. Of course, the security came afterwards. In that sense,
the security posture management in the sandbox obviously is important. So the features from GCP, like the VPC service controls perimeters, which is a unique feature in GCP, and all this made it possible to use cloud.
Yes, securely. So it made us confident that we can use cloud securely. And then the sandbox is a desktop, a virtual machine personal for each user. So they can log in there from the web portal or web dashboard and then do their analysis inside the sandbox. They can use RStudio, Python, and they can use pipelines, which I referred to Cromwell, which is the one batch of engine developed in Broad that we are using to crunch the data as such there. So these are kind of, and they can then when they have done their analysis, they can make a download request, and then our staff will kind of check the data and process to them back, and they can even import some of their own scripts, our own tools. And then, of course, the tools are very important to our researchers. So science is about tools, and new science will be made on new tools. So this is like very much ongoing process. For that, we have like repositories, local repositories to make the experience more internet-like, so people can install their own tools from the local repositories. Then there is custom tools what our own team has made for making the analysis easy. So our mission is to make analysis easy, but then you can do also very advanced stuff. So these kind of things. So it's.
So yeah, as we can see here in the screen, we have a screenshot of the view that the researcher will have. So this is running in their browser, right?
Yes, exactly. So people log in with the web browser, and then they start their machine, and and the web machine will have an interactive user kind of interface. So you can use it as your own computer in a way. And it can only, the special feature is of course that you can only save it into that machine. You cannot export your data to your own machine. So it kind of keeps it inside.
So that's the interesting duality, the interesting problem here to solve, that it needs to be from internet available to the researchers, but once they are accessing the data with their personal virtual machine and with the desktop that they're seeing in their browser, they cannot extradite the data. They cannot copy it for themselves. They can only do the analysis on the data inside the sandbox.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
That's why the name, the sandbox.
Yes, this is how it goes.
Okay. So we already discussed a little bit on the matter that Finland is the only place where we can do this because we have such a special genome and we have good health records, and that obviously then touches the regulations and laws. So what makes it possible in Finland and to do this type of work, and how the regulatory bodies are checking that you're not misusing the data?
Yes, of course, the laws are very important in this case because we are working with sensitive data. So the most important law in the beginning is the Biobank Act. This makes possible that the biobank studies can access samples from biobank and do studies, and people can go to biobanks or they go to the public healthcare and they donate their samples. And then the biobanks collection and studies which have ethically approved and have strict security requirements can then use the data as such. So that's like a first principle for the in a way for the laws. And the next one is how do we use then the laws, the register data, and that's the secondary act of use of register data. And that's 2019 actually the law, so it was 2 years later than FinnGen actually started as such. But this kind of makes kind of possible to get the data, and then it has a kind of strict requirement for the environment when the data can be, and that then it gives a kind of requirement for the environment, and then it can be kind of audited against those. So this makes our work easier actually, because then we know what security requirement we should do in a way.
So FinData being the regulatory body and authority here that does also requires the audit of the environment.
So you get the data from FinData, and they also provide specifications for the audit in a way for the environment. And then there is of course P2GRI, which is the cloud services law for public services, which actually recommend to use cloud if it's possible for your kind of environment.
So cloud first, that's the recommendation from the Finnish government that you should do it in the cloud if you can.
If possible, yes.
Because the security posture management, the security itself in the cloud is actually so usually better than even in on-premises.
Well, a lot of things are already built and think there already. So there is a lot of cloud services that FinnGen Sandbox and FinnGen is using, so that you don't have to build everything from some other repositories. So there is a lot of things done.
Yeah, so for example, the data encryption, it's always encrypted on the disk, on rest. Also, every time it's transmitted inside the system, it's always encrypted, and things like this. So if you, and also the monitoring of what's happening inside the system, logs, stuff like this. So if you would build that into your on-premises environment, you would have to put in basically millions to build that kind of capability that you get from the cloud for free.
Tools are kind of linked together. They work together. Of course, in on-prem you could take tools from others, but they don't necessarily work so well together because they are not built for same purpose as such or talking to each other as such.
So what is the future like then for FinnGen?
So FinnGen is in mid-pay, so almost a bit on it. So it's a 10 years project. We have done 6. So, and then now we are getting new data in. It's on phase FinnGen 3. We will get Kanta data. As you know, Kanta stores all the lab values when you go to a doctor. So this is important to us. So a lot of data is now processed in FIM, and it's harmonized the lab data. Of course, there is mistakes in the registered data. Registered data is not like curated scientific data, so you have to harmonize it and quality control it, and then we deliver the ready set for our researchers in FinnGen Sandbox as such.
And these data sets that you release, they are pseudonymized, so individuals cannot be identified from the data by you.
Every data in FinnGen is pseudonymized, called FinnGen ID, and it's a specific 9-char ID made by Biobank. So Biobank knows who are the individuals. FinnGen and FIM does not know, and everything that was delivered to us is kind of pseudonymized, so we cannot identify participant from there as such.
Okay, how about then? There's been discussions on licensing the platform so that other research initiatives that require this capability, this feature set, can then use your platform.
That's one of the kind of discussion points at the moment. We are proposing open access, but it's on discussions are ongoing. Open access would allow other scientists build similar and other universities to build similar environments if they have stuff and or knowledge how to do that. Of course, there is other choices like a custom kind of like a licensing per customer, and this we have some experience already from England.
Yes, there's the one similar genomics research project in UK that's using your platform.
Yes. So it's a little bit gathering on ecosystem there. Not very big one, but I'm pretty sure if we do open access, it would bigger one, and this would allow us to get development from other parties as well. So that's why we are thinking open access would be a good choice.
Okay. Well, thank you for visiting us and talking about the FinnGen Sandbox. And great success to you and for future.
Thank you. It was very nice to be here.
Thank you.